Happy Friday, my Words of Wellness family. Today I want to come to you with a testimony since last week it was a poem. And so today's testimony aligns with what I've been going through this past year with my health issues. Last year, I think I mentioned in a former video, I was diagnosed with a thyroid issue. And because of that issue, because of my thyroid, I lost like 30 pounds within 3 months. And so I got frail looking really quick. And I experienced a lot of loss. I lost my job. We left our home. Lost bodily functions. I mean, just loss after loss, it seemed like. I lost my faith. I lost my hope. I just experienced a lot of loss. My faith was shaken, and I can remember even with the pains that were all going through my body. One day, just standing there and just telling the Lord, I was like, "It's so hard for me to see you past my pain," and with all that loss, especially in terms of my weight, I couldn't even fit the clothes that I had, and so my husband was so kind and loving one day to take me clothes shopping, get me some new clothes, get me some new shoes. I mean, I just couldn't fit anything anymore. And as he did that, that began to make me feel better. At least I had some things that I could wear. And I don't think I found out, though, that it was a thyroid issue until like maybe July or August even. It took a while to find out what was wrong with me. So for 4 months or so, we didn't have any idea what was going on, and that can sometimes just shake you because you're trying to figure out what's going on here. And but as I found out what was going on, the Lord encouraged me to take my medicine. I began to take my medicine. Had some new clothes. The Lord began to start restoring things. And as my faith was getting somewhat back on track, I was, it's like the Lord and it's like I was getting to know Him again. It's almost as if I had some spiritual amnesia. That's the best way I can describe it. And so I decided one day that I was going to go on a date with the Lord. The Lord and I were going to go on a date. I had some new clothes. And so it was giving me an opportunity to get dressed up. My hair wasn't falling out anymore because that was another loss that I was experiencing. And so one day I got dressed up and I said, "Okay, Lord, it's just me and you. Where are we going?" And deposited in my mind, the first thing was go to the museum. And so went to the local museum. I said, "Okay, you must got something for me at the museum. I haven't a clue, but I'm going in faith." I was learning to exercise my faith muscle again. And so I said, "Okay, there must be something here at this museum." So walked around, got there, walked around, looked at the pictures, and I thought, okay, these are nice pictures. But before that, I had begun to start feeling a little bit better about myself. There was a time when my son would tell me, he'd say, "Mama, you're so pretty, you're so pretty." I said, "Nah, you just got to say that. You're my son. I don't feel pretty at all." And so while I was walking around looking at the pictures at the museum, I had this one lady stop me. And she said, "Oh, you're so pretty. Can I take a picture of you looking at one of the pictures for my school children?" And I thought, oh my goodness, my hair's been falling out and I'm frail looking and she wants to take my picture. She thought I was pretty. And I thought, okay. And before that, like I said, I had the new clothes and the hair was starting to grow back and I was starting to feel a little bit better about myself. And an idea just came to my mind, I've lost all this weight now. What about modeling? I was thinking about doing some modeling. And so when she began to tell me, your son's got to tell you, "Mama, you're pretty." But when this perfect stranger, someone who had never met me, wanted to take my picture, I went on ahead and kind of gave her, some of my background, my testimony, what I've been through with my health, and that now I was thinking about modeling. And her friend who was with her said, "Oh my goodness, I was just telling her you should be a model." And I thought, okay, all all right. Well, that's some confirmation there. So I thought, well, maybe I'm on the right track with this thing, with this modeling idea. So one day, one morning, I was just lying in bed and popped into my head. The Holy Spirit said, you need to call. At least I sensed the Holy Spirit say I needed to call my son's former homeschool teacher. Now, my son had a homeschool teacher. I was his homeschool facilitator, but he went to a hybrid school where there was actually a teacher and he did most of his work here at home. And her husband happened to be a photographer. So we had talked in the past, and I think he'd been out of there, graduated for like 2 years now. But like I said, I sensed the Holy Spirit saying, call her. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to call her. So I got up that morning and gave her a call, and she remembered who I was, and we caught up, talked a little bit about him so she could know what he was doing, and I told her about the health issues that I had had, but I mentioned to her now I had this idea to do some modeling. And she said, oh my goodness, Felicia, I've got goosebumps. And so I said, why? And she said, well, my husband and I now own a production agency, and we do modeling. And we'd love to have you come in and do some possible shoots for us. So she had me send her over some pictures that I had just taken. So, for Resurrection Sunday, we had taken pictures. And so I had sent her some pictures, and she looked at those, had her husband look at those. And so she said, let's have you come in and do some shoots. And I said, well, okay, that's great to have some pictures. How much is it going to cost? And she said, oh, nothing. This is free. They do some type of trade program. So I just had to kind of sign a contract saying that they could use my photos, and I was going to get to be a model for them and do some modeling. And so these are iStock photos. These are stock photos. But hey, you got to start somewhere, right? So I am really excited that yesterday was my photo shoot. It was a 3-hour modeling shoot, and we've did different scenes and things where I played different roles, but I was a model, and I thought, wow, this is amazing. This is amazing. So. In one of the pictures, I was another girl's mom. I was a counselor. So it was just really, amazing to have that opportunity to just see how the Lord would be so kind and so loving to give me that opportunity to have that dream come into fruition. So I wanted to share that if you've got a goal, if you've got a dream, don't give up on it. Take it to the Lord in prayer. And He certainly can do exceedingly abundantly above all we could ask or imagine. But on another end, I also want to state that one of the things I know the Lord has been showing me too, is that, this is a year that I turned 50. And sometimes I think we put too much emphasis on this. We put too much emphasis on what we look like. And so one of the verses that I have been meditating on is 1 Peter 3:3-4, where it talks about how we, as women especially, but I think it's for all people, we should not put stock in braiding our hair or the jewelry we wear or the clothes we wear. But it is in cultivating that inner beauty. I like how the Message Bible talks about it. The importance is cultivating that inner beauty so that we can have that gracious, gentle, and kind spirit, because that is what the Lord finds beautiful. And so I would encourage you to ask the Lord, Lord, what is it? What is it that you find beautiful about me? And I hope it's that you've got hope, that you've got joy, that you've got peace. That's where our treasure really lies. It's that inner treasure within us. It's being kind to others. It's being loving. It's being generous. It's being giving. Those are our inner riches, and that's where our inner beauty really shines and becomes so beautiful to Father, so beautiful to God. So today, ask Him, Lord, what is it about me that you find beautiful today? Or you determine, how do I want to be beautiful to my God today? What is it that you've got to cultivate inside of yourself, that is invisible, that is intangible, that is unseen? What can you cultivate in your inner beauty today? Ask Him to help you with that. I asked His Spirit all the time to instruct me in how to cultivate or in how to do certain things. But today I asked Him, Holy Spirit, help me to cultivate that inner beauty so that I can be beautiful before Father. So yes, we thank God for the temple that He has given us. It's His temple. But obviously, this temple will fade. And so it is that inner strength, that inner core that is so important to Father. And so I wanted to just add that, encourage you to cultivate your inner beauty because that is what is lasting. So I hope that you have found these words to be well. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I encourage you to use your words well. God bless.